Roll call.
Senator Abraham Darrell Dillon, presiding officer. Montserrat County, Senator Saar H. Joseph. Grand Bassa County, Senator Wesaga and Fick. Sinai County, Senator Councilor S. Chair. Senator Creighton O'Donnell. Liberia County, Senator J. Bebo Brown. Senator James B. Barney. Grand Cape County, Senator Simeon Boydman Taylor. Senator Baba M. Papala. Bon County, Senator Prince Kemomori. Nema County, Senator Nyan D. Twine Jr. Senator Sap Koka. Grand Chile County, Senator Zoe Man. Senator Thomas Yaya Nimlin. He was here. Everybody present. Lofa County, Senator Councilor Joseph K. Jala. Senator Momo T. Cyrus. Kwame County, Senator Edwin M. Slow Jr. And Senator Jenica Alex Tyler. Maggie County, Senator Tony J. Manuel Luque. Senator Natana F. McGill. Riverside County, Senator Wellington G. Von Smith. Senator Bill T.F. Twelwin. Grand Crew County, Senator Professor Albert Tubechi. Senator Nimini T.S. Patekwa. River G County, Senator Jonathan Porter Suffolk. Senator Francis S. Sopo II. Senator Babulu County, Senator Boto Kane. Senator Amara M. Kone. Grand Cape County, Senator Taba M. Pabla. Mr. Presiding, distinguished senators, there are 16 senators present.
With 16 senators present and seated, we have constitutional quorum to do business for the day. Okay, then count it. Recount it.
10,
The mayor right, any senator has right to challenge the number. Huh? Is the senator Nimla just walk out?
When she called it when he wasn't here.
Okay, so yeah, I'll be getting other senators. We got to have quorum to begin session.
No, when you call it when you're not here.
Under the rules of the Senate, I see that you send the sergeant arms to go and bring the senator. It is an order that you should be giving him to command the Senate, compel the senators to come to work. Not to just say, the man came to my office, they say he must go to. No.
No, the sergeant
He must go there and tell me.
go bring the senator.
Yeah.
But in the room. That's the room. Yeah.
Rescue service again. I will always come to the session.
Set us slow.
I'm not feeling well. I'm full hectic. I'm full hectic. What the hell is got going
Okay, Senator Nimlan tells around, so we have constitutional quorum to do business. And here comes Senator Quinn Moi to double the quorum. If I go through the Musa today, okay. Secretary of the Senate, please proceed with the reading of the job agenda.
It's Capitol Building, Capitol Hill, Monrovia, Liberia. 43rd is sitting second session, 55th Legislature of the Republic of Liberia. Thursday, October 16, 2025. Agenda order of business. 1 call to order, 2 devotion, 3 roll call, 4 read adoption of the agenda, 5 unfinished business, 6 report from standing committees, 7 business on President's text, 8 communication from the President of Liberia for enactment on a bill for an act to repeal Article 2 of the Interim Assembly Decree number 8 of 1985, which established the Bureau of State Enterprises, the BSE, and to establish the state-owned enterprises of Liberia, sealed for second reading. The communication from the President of Liberia for enactment of a bill for an act to establish the Civil Service Commission, also for second reading. C, communication from the House of Representatives on Houses and Grounds Bill number 12, entitled An Act to Ratify the Loan Agreement, Institutional Support for Enhanced Domestic Revenue Mobilization and Reform Implementation Project between the Republic of Liberia and the African Development Bank and the African Development Fund. The communication from the House of Representatives on the establishment of the Mana River Union Parliament. E, communication from Senator Samuel G. Coker of Nima County regarding alleged report of salary disparity among urban and rural universities in Liberia. F, briefing and update from senators continues. 8, another business, 9, adjournment. Distinguished senators, and reading of the draft agenda for today's sitting.
Distinguished senators, you've listened to the reading of the draft agenda. What's your will and pleasure? Senator Moi.
Colleagues, having listened to the draft agenda for our work today, I move, if I can obtain a second, that the draft agenda presented by the Secretary of the Senate be received and open for discussion.
It has been moved and seconded that the agenda just read, draft agenda, be open for discussion following which were adopted. Are you ready to vote? All those in favor say yeah. Against? Abstain? Motion carried. The agenda is open for discussion and adoption. NMAOB, NM, Senator Snow?
And since there are no additional information for the agenda be accepted for our working session.
It has been moved and seconded that the agenda so read be adopted as our working tool for the day. Are you ready to vote? All those in favor say yeah. Against? Abstain? Motion carried. Agenda adopted. Secretary of the Senate, please proceed.
Basis on President's text. Excuse me. This communication from the President was read on Tuesday, and by the rules, we are to read only the title and it goes to committee room. An act to repeal Article 2 of the Interim Assembly Decree number 8 of 1985, which established the Bureau of State Enterprises and to establish the state-owned enterprises of Liberia.
For second reading?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Senator Crowell.
I don't really understand what that reading is trying to say. I don't know.
Meaning?
Meaning, I don't know what is being said. I don't understand it.
So it's an act to repeal Article 2 of the Interim Assembly Decree number 8 of 1985, which will establish the Bureau of State Enterprises and to establish the state-owned enterprises of Liberia. It is an act draft bill sent by the President, and in keeping with the procedure, any draft act will go through the processes of first, second, reading. So you're not reading the letter from the President any longer, you're reading only by the title. It was read on Tuesday in full. Today is the second reading only by title. And the title is an act to repeal Article 2 of the Interim Assembly Decree number 8 of 1985, which established the Bureau of State Enterprises and to establish the state-owned enterprises of Liberia.
Mr. President, Mr. President,
Yes?
I think it's the Interim National Assembly, the INA.
Okay, Interim Assembly, that was, okay. The Interim National Assembly, that was the decree number 8 under the Interim National Assembly. Senator Traore, are we clear?
Not yet.
Okay, state your doubt.
My doubt is, are we trying to repeal that we establish the Bureau of State Enterprise and in his head, get the state-owned enterprise of Liberia?
Yes,
Then it should be properly said.
but it's there. No, but let me be clear. An act to repeal Article 2 of the Interim National Assembly Decree number 8 of 1985. That decree established the Bureau of State Enterprises. This act bill we're talking about now is to establish the state-owned enterprises of Liberia.
Is it understandable in our way here, as it said here?
I'm sure. Yeah,
Let's follow our rule.
yeah.
This is the second reading committee to the committee.
Yeah.
If anybody asks a question, ask the committee. Give the committee until the committee reports the whole committee. But let me committee to the committee.
Okay.
That's my order.
You've listened to the second reading of the act, the bill to repeal decree number 8 and to establish the state-owned enterprises of Liberia. Second reading. What's your will? Senator Batikwa, Grand Cool County. Mr. Presiding, order.
Presiding, I'm surprised to see that the distinguished senator from Glencoe will sit down to address the presiding officer.
Order overruled. Use your microphone. Yeah, I don't want presiding. Order sustained. Stand up. Because no additional on the radio, so I want it. Mr. President, the Seaway Schooling, having listened for the second time the reading of the communication conferring to this body an act to repeal the decree number 8, which was established by the Interim Assembly of Liberia, and replace it by an act to be entitled establishing an institution called the State-Owned Enterprises, a move that the act, the bill, be received and turned over to the Committee on Judiciary and Committee on Autonomous Agency, and they report to this body in 2 weeks, if I will obtain a second. It has been moved and seconded that the bill title that was just read be received in keeping with the procedure and now forwarded to the Committees on Judiciary and Autonomous Commission. Which committee leads? Judiciary. Judiciary leads with the Committee on Autonomous Commission called Piloting. Are you ready to vote? All those in what's our readiness?
The bill is clear. It tells us what is needs to be done. The work of the judiciary will be to give the legal guidance, but they can't be the lead committee.
Are you debating or you already state your readiness?
Who got the motion?
The mover got a motion.
Our Batikwa. Thank you.
That means the Committee on Autonomous
Agencies lead.
with the Judiciary Committee advising.
Yes.
Are you ready to vote? All those in favor say yeah. Against? Abstain? Motion carried. Secretary of the Senate, please ensure that the committee is placed in possession of the act for action. Please continue with the next agenda item.
Communication again from the President on a bill for an act to establish the Civil Service Commission. My title. An act to establish the Civil Service Commission.
The same procedure, second reading, the act to establish the Civil Service Commission. Second reading, by title, what's your will and pleasure? Senator Bravo Brown, Maryland County.
Presiding and distinguished colleagues, the act to establish the Civil Service Commission having met the requirements under our rules for second reading, I move that the act now be committed to the Committees on Autonomous Commission as lead, along with the Committee on Judiciary. And they should report to this plenary within 2 weeks.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that a bill for an act to establish the Civil Service Commission, which was read for second reading, now be transitioned to the Committee on Public Autonomous Commission and Judiciary, with Public Autonomous Commission being the lead committee. Are you ready to vote? Chairman of Judiciary, Senator Augustine Chair of San Luis County, state your readiness.
Yes, it's like addition.
to all members of the citizens that were not on the president.
So I said,
Are you ready to vote with the unreadiness clear? Are you ready to vote? Ready. All those in favor?
Against? Abstain? Secretary of the Senate, please take note, send the bill to the committees on Public Autonomous Commission and Judiciary, with Autonomous Commission being the lead, with copies to each senator to prepare them for. Next on the agenda.
The first communication from the House of Representatives, Office of the Chief Clerk. October 14, 2025, the Honorable Liberian Senate in session, Capitol Building, Capitol Hill, Monrovia, Liberia. Honorable Pro Tem and members, I have the honor, by directive of the Honorable House of Representatives in session, to forward here to attach amendments to Houses and Gross Bill number 12 entitled, an act to ratify the loan agreement, institutional support for enhanced domestic revenue mobilization and reform implementation project between the Republic of Liberia and the African Development Bank and the African Development Fund. During the passage of the above loan agreement, there was oversight of these amendments. Below are the amendments for inclusion. Amendment 1, indication of the project number on the cover page. Project ID is P-LR-KF0-KFO-013. Loan number is 590015000430. Bank loan value AU 5,144,796. Loan number 2100150044,845. TSF loan value UA 233,114. For 2, indication on page 2 of the co-funding, total amount of 12,377,910 units of account. The above mentioned instrument was passed in the full force of the law by the Honorable House of Representatives on Tuesday, October 14, 2025, at the hour of 11:41 during its regular session, and hereby request your timely concurrence. Please accept, Honorable Pro Tem and members, the review assurances of my highest esteem. Sincerely yours, Mildred N. Sayam, Chief Clerk. Presiding.
Distinguished colleagues, you listen to the reading of the communication from the House of Representatives forwarding engrossed bill number 12 entitled an act to ratify the loan agreement, institutional support for enhancement of enhanced domestic revenue mobilization and reform implementation project between the Republic of Liberia and the African Development Bank and the African Development Fund for ratification or for concurrence. What's your will and pleasure? Senator Wesson Garfield, the Grand Bassa County.
Thank you, Presiding. Presiding, I have a little concern with communication. Did I hear, or maybe I may be wrong, that they made amendment to the document for ratification?
Use your microphone, Secretary.
Yeah,
So very clear.
that's my concern. Because when it's ratification, I don't know if we can make amendment to ratification.
Did they say they were making?
They didn't make amendment to the documentation.
So let's
Let me just read what it says.
Yeah, read that portion.
During the passage of the above loan agreement, there was oversight of these amendments. Below are the amendments for inclusion. That's what it said.
So they didn't. They did not include anything of their own. Is that what the communication? Oversight from where? From the executive or from their? Yeah? It's not clear, right? Okay. The committee will list with the House on it. Are you ready to vote? Or what's your will and pleasure? Okay, so
move.
on what? There's a motion that should be made as to where this communication should go. Which committee? Senator Tyler, former speaker, ranking member of ECOWAS.
Continue.
And the rescue mission.
Continue.
Senator Snow, please approach the president.
Mr. Presiding, distinguished colleagues,
Senator Snow,
I move, if I can obtain a second, that the communication from the House of Representatives just read be received and sent to the Committee on Ways, Means, Standards, and the Budget. If I can obtain a second.
we are restating the motion. Are you ready to vote? Ready? Now I ask if we are restating. What's your readiness? Senator Snow, followed by Senator Goswin.
Please restate his motion for the comprehension of this body.
Please restate the motion.
Mr. Presiding colleagues, I move that it be seconded that the communications from the House of Representatives just read be received and turned over to the Committee on Ways, Means, Standards, and the Budget to report to this body in 2 weeks.
We are restating the motion. It has been moved and seconded. And we are restating the motion. Are you ready to vote? Already, Senator Wesson got feeling.
The distinguished gentleman from Bonny to please add copies be distributed to all senators.
Accept.
And that the Committee on Judiciary, this is a legal instrument for loan. It is in the rule that the presiding and guard the floor. Yeah, that's why I brought the rule, but I know I'm presiding. Okay.
Accepted.
Thank you. It has been moved and seconded that the communication from the House in Gross Bill number 12, referencing the loan agreement, as read, be forwarded to the committees on on Ways, Means, Finance, and the Budget as lead committee, and advised by the Judiciary Committee, and report within 2 weeks. Are you ready to vote? All those in favor say yes. The presiding is not hearing. All those in favor say yes. Against? Abstain? Motion carried. Secretary of the Senate, please take the appropriate action.
Second communication in the House. October 15, 2025. Senator Kangar-Lawrence, President Pro Tempore, the Liberian Senate, 55th Legislature, Capitol Building, Capitol Hill, Monrovia, Liberia. Dear President Pro Tempore, I present compliments and by the directive of the Honorable House of Representatives in session, transmit the enclosed instrument, draft of protocol relating to the establishment of the Minor River Union Parliament for your consideration and subsequent concurrence. Please be assured that the Honorable House of Representatives continues to enjoy the pleasant legislative coordination that has made workings of both houses remarkable. Thanks ever so much for your consideration. Sincerely, Major N. the Chief Clerk.
Distinguished colleagues, you've just listened to the reading of a communication from the House of Representatives on the establishment of the Mano River Union Parliament. What's your will and pleasure? Senator Prince Moyi.
Thank you, Mr. President. Distinguished senators, having listened to a transmitter from the House of Representatives informing this august body about the establishment of the Mano River Union Parliament, I move, if I can obtain a second, that this instrument be sent to leadership for decision and leadership brief plenary in subsequent time. If I can obtain a second.
And nobody agree with you. I didn't hear. It has been moved and seconded that a communication from the House of Representatives informing the Senate of the establishment of the Mano River Union Parliament, which is a new regional body like the ECOWAS Parliament. The motion is that the communication be received and forwarded to the leadership for deliberation and then reverting to the body for subsequent action. Are you ready to vote? All those in favor say yes. Against? Abstain? Motion carried. Communication will be sent to leadership for the necessary action. The communication from Senator Coker in keeping with our practice will not be read because he is absent. So then we'll move to the next item on the agenda.
Next item is the briefing and update from senators.
We'll proceed from where we stopped on Tuesday. Briefing from senators from their break. Secretary of the Senate, where do we stop?
Stop at Grand Jeter.
Grand Jeter?
So continue. Talk about Lofa today.
So we'll proceed from there. That was say, where did we start? Get it. You guys have the record. Eh? So Senator Neiman from Grand Jeter was the last, right? Then we proceed in order to with the counting as they were found. Then we'll come back to those who missed the opportunity. Yes.
Yes, you're right.
Thank you, Chairman.
The rule said when people out there at the punishment.
Lofa County.
Yeah.
Senator Councilor Joseph Pato Jala. Lofa 1.
I think I only person on the line.
What's your will and pleasure? That's the rule. Let's follow the rule. Secretary of the Senate, please proceed accordingly. Local County, Senator Joseph Jala.
Yeah, he the one who organized me.
I'm presiding today. I'm looking at the time. 3 minutes.
I'm from the largest county, okay?
Take a bundle of your.
But I put them in spirit, presiding, distinguished colleague.
1 minute, Senator Jala. Distinguished colleagues. Out. Let's distinguish ourselves. The public think we are better than plenty houses here. So that, yeah. Senator Slow, no, presiding. Yeah, let's demonstrate our leaders. You ready? Tell us the other people see.
Having said that, let me take this time to extend my thanks and appreciation to all of us for making this occasion and those who work hard to help us succeed in achieving our objectives to unification. There were several things that took place. During the vacation. Starting with the international front. On the international level, we were able to form part of the delegation to travel to Accra, Ghana. With a multi-visitor committee delegation on a study tour to study what could bring benefit to our economy. It was a tour on using or buying gold by the central bank to strengthen the reserve in the economy. The study tour was verified, and the details and the reaction and responses are being utilized by the stakeholders. On a domestic level, the people of Central and Lower Lofa County had a groundbreaking for solar panel or solar light to provide electricity for the people of that part of the county on our auspices. On a domestic level, the sad news also is that the people of Zaza, in particular, and Lofa County in general, lost an eminent citizen and a heroine of our country in President of Banakato Kennedy. We would like to bring this to the attention. She was the cheerleader for your Homo 7, the senior senator of Lofa County. We buried her in August and laid her to rest. Finally, please allow me to reiterate my call. I made this call before, I will make it again, to ask the President Pro Tempore of the Liberian Senate, the leadership, Ways and Means Committee and the Budget, and all senators to see reason to realign or to align our salary and wages of civil servants with the Decent Work Bill. Our local chiefs, our commissioners who work very hard, our city mayors across the country.
The decent work bill is for public servant or for private sector.
Well, I'm not debating my presentation. I'm making a political request, and I think if we have a bill that the government passed by this house, okay. Are you trying to take my time? If we pass a bill with asking investors to give a minimum wage in the country, we should be the exemplary force. And therefore, the salary of civil servants as well as the labor force should commensurate with our Decent Work Bill. I have made this appeal before. We attempted to put money in the budget, but perhaps we'll be, urging this Senate to summon the Internal Affairs agency to tell her what they'll be doing with the structure of the salary when the budget passes. Where? As market authorization. Finally, we are consulting with important stakeholders on key political questions with a view of transforming those consultations into legislative process and policy of the government. You will hear from us very soon. I thank you.
Senator Momo T. Cyrus, Lofa County.
Somebody
So thank you, Honorable Presiding, distinguished colleagues, and members of the Senate staff. Good afternoon. It is an honor to stand before you today as we resume this third and final quarter of our second section. This isn't just another sitting of the legislature. It is another movement of reflection, a renewed call to duty to serve our people faithfully and move our country forward. As chair of the National Security Committee, let me briefly highlight some of our recent engagements. We conducted confirmation hearing for key national security institutions: the Liberian Immigration Service, the National Security Agency, and the Ministry of National Defense. And let me also let you know that there was some strategic engagements with international partners. We had the opportunity to engage with the European Union discussing counterterrorism, anti-money laundering, and irregular migration. We also had the opportunity to engage with the United Nations Security Sector Reform Team. It was geared towards supporting the Liberian National Police 5-year strategic plan. We also engaged the Chinese embassy. Our discussion will focus on the growing drugs crisis in our country. These engagements remind us that national security today is not local alone, it is regional and even global. I want to sincerely thank my colleagues on the Defense Committee and all senators for their unwavering commitment to national duty. We want to re-emphasize certain security concerns. One, the deteriorating police and citizen relationship. Honorable colleagues, I wish to draw this August Valley attention to the increasingly strained relationship between the Liberian National Police, a critical pillar of our national security architecture, and the ordinary citizen whom they are constitutionally mandated to protect. This growing mistrust stems largely from the perceived unfair dispensation of justice, the slow pace of investigation into major incidents, and the seeming lack of comprehensive closure to critical cases. Justice, as we all know, must remain blind. The law must not recognize status, title, or position. The same standard applied to an ordinary citizen must equally be applied to directors or government officials. We cannot afford to use one yardstick for ordinary citizens accused of crimes such as rape or other criminal acts, and another when high-ranking officials are involved. This double standard erodes public trust and undermines the credibility of the justice system. It must stop. Now. It must stop now. In Lofa, which I have the honor to represent, some investigation remained open and inconclusive. On January 25, 2005, a little Sia Johnson was discovered dead in the Kintoma community in Vonjama. A 50-member jury found that a foul play was involved. On January 26, 2005, a little Yakpawaro tragically died while in police custody in Vonjama. Subsequent autopsy confirmed that the cause of death was unnatural. In May, little Pee-wee Desert went missing in Konya Town, Zosa District, and has since not been found. Most recently, in September 2005, Eda Saki Freeman went reported missing in Zigida Town and yet to be found. An incident that has sparked protest and growing frustration among the citizens. There's continued delay in fast-tracking these investigations and bringing them to logical and transparent conclusion risks eroding public confidence in the national police, in the Liberian National Police. Beyond our border, it's also threatening to dent our human rights credential as a democratic nation.
The police must therefore step up their performance, restore professionalism, and rebuild public trust, or face legislative consequences for persistent failure to act with due diligence.
Yes, sir.
Two, the unguarded public discourse by public officials. Another issue of great concern is increasing recklessness in public discourse by government officials, both in the executive and the legislative branches. Many public officials have become less mindful of the weight and consequences of their utterances. Unfortunately, some of these statements have taken the form of public insult, threat, and intimidation. Let us not confuse such behavior with the exercise of freedom of speech. Leadership comes with responsibility, restraint, and respect for the institution we serve. The peace and stability that we enjoy today were purchased with blood and sweat of our people. We must not jeopardize the high-end peace through careless words or irresponsible conduct. As national leader, we owe it to our country to speak with civility, act with prudence, and lead with integrity. Police, as we resume, we are faced with national challenges in early warning signs. The drug pandemic continues to ravage our youth, destroy potential, break families, and threaten social stability. My colleagues, as we begin this final quarter, let's approach it with renewed energy and unity for purpose. Legislative service is not just a job. It is a community of trust between our people and us. They expect action, not rhetoric, accountability, not excuses, result, not promises. Let us rise to that expectation. Let us prove that this Senate stands above partisanship and work only for the good of the Republic. In closing, ladies and gentlemen, let us be reminded that leadership most notable when it becomes self-interest and seek the collective good. As we deliberate during this session, may we also renew our commitment to justice, fairness, responsible leadership, and show that the police serve with integrity and that our words as leaders heal rather than divide. May our action reflect wisdom, patriotism, and deep love for country. Ladies and gentlemen, may God bless our hands, guide our decisions, and continue to bless the Republic of Liberia. I thank you.
Bummy County. Senator Edwin Melvin Slow Jr.
No problem. You can't have bell. I didn't want you coming with a mother. I just find with bell. No problem.
Look at it. I am so much better.
At least you approach the question.
Yeah, but you can find your better.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding. Mr. Presiding, you know, every time you preside, I'm very proud of you. And I want to again commend you. Mr. Presiding, I'll try to be brief. I thought the Lofa caucus would have told us about the complex being built in Foya, but since they didn't mention, I have to add it here, so because we want to know the source of funding. Presiding, we have a problem in the country, and the problem is facilitated by taxpayers' money.
Our Ministry of Information has turned to a platform to attack critical voices in the country. It started with Senator Amar Conan when his sister was sick in the hospital in America, dying from cancer. And he raised an issue in line with his legislative function. He was attacked by the Ministry of Information. Senator Creighton Duncan raised a critical issue. He was attacked by the Ministry of Information. Former President Weah, when he spoke, he was mentioned that he had mosquito brains by the Ministry of Information. When Alexander Cummings spoke, his height was measured, even though he's taller than President Buckeye, but his height was used to determine his comments by the Ministry of Information. When Bishop Cotto Brown, a cleric, a man who has been very critical of even past governments, Samuel Doe, Charles Taylor, Eddie Salif, George Weah, even now, Cotto Brown, everybody knows him in this country. When he spoke, he was asked by the Ministry of Information to go and be a politician, but bombarded by that ministry. Former Vice President Joel Howard Taylor, who spoke at an opposition gathering, she was attacked by that ministry. The point I'm making, Mr. Pizarri, that is not the responsibility or the function of the Ministry of Information. They cannot use government platform to attack critical voices in the country. And I think we're sitting down looking at it and we think it's funny, but it's very serious. The minister and others have a platform at night they can go to. We consider an informal sector. You say what you want to say there. But when you go at the Ministry of Information and you begin to attack critical voices and insulting people, national leaders, I think they are diluting the standard of that ministry and it's turning more to a gangsterism situation. I think they need to work on it. They need to work on it. Yeah, I like that word. They need to work on it. Today might be others, today might be people in the opposition, but tomorrow they might come home. Even people, females, today if you look in the country, people just insulting each other. But the premise is for the Ministry of Information. Because if you're using the government platform to start insulting people, you would think that insult is normal in the country. You can't insult anybody. That's a nominee now who's coming before us for a confirmation, a female nominee. Another female goes on a talk show to say something critical. She goes and insults her colleague, a female colleague also. So, Mr. Pizarri, I hope we do something about it. But this is not all the Ministry of Information. A few months ago, the Ministry of Information lied on me that I want to destabilize the country. I complained to the Liberian Senate. The Senate invited the minister. He came along, the Minister of Justice, and we had a conversation. Nothing has been done about it. It's affecting my reputation. It's affecting me in the international scene because the ministry lied on me. So, Pizarri, I'm informing the Senate that if nothing is done about it, I will have to consult my lawyer and I will go to court. But my name must be clear. I don't think that's the job of the Ministry of Information to lie on critical voices, insult people in the country. So the way we insult is just, now everybody can get insult. The last time, Mr. Pizarri, you as chairman of the committee, Jimon, you were happy when you're on Star Radio. Who are you happy again? Thank you. Mr. Pizarri, the last time you were presiding over a meeting here, Foreign Affairs Committee, when I raised an issue with officials of the Foreign Ministry, and they took the airways and insulted me. If we cannot be protected for our views on this flow, then we don't have anywhere else to be protected. And I think if the Senate will just sit down, will just fold our arms and look at it, it won't help us. Just other minor issues. The issue of the rural and urban university instructors, I think there's a problem in the country. I hope that we can have the Honorable Koga raised that issue in the letter. Unfortunately, he's not here, but it's a serious issue that is affecting community colleges around the country, including our own county, Bomi. I hope we can look into this matter and try to resolve it. And finally, presiding, I hope the Senate can inquire from the Ministry of State or Ministry of Finance. I'm told there's a multi-million-dollar complex being constructed in Foya. So I don't know if it's from the budget or it's a private project or international project, but I think we want to know what's happening in Foya. When former President Weah built his complex here, he said it was a private property. So we want to know in Foya, if it's for the government, if it's for Minor River Union, which I know is not for Minor River Union, or if it's for a private investor, we want to know. But it's very serious. And if it's for the budget, then let's say the movie tell us, or say the our chair, say the chairman of public works, what part of the budget that funding came from. But it's a very serious issue. I think we should not overlook it. It's not a societal bush. It's visible, and we want to know about it. Thank you, Mr. President.
Colleague, Senator Jordan. Hello.
Hey, Alex Tyler.
Colleague. Senator Chair, Advising Chair. Senator Tyler, 1 minute. This is the Senate. Forget about who raising these issues, but the issues raised by Senator Snow has a general, broader implication on this country. And we, as House of Elders, regardless of being rescue mission people or opposition people, when we honor this roof, we are the House of Elders. We got to give some guidance to what's happening in the country. I think we meet as leadership so that we can empower our relevant committee to engage with the Ministry of Information. 2, I left to Senator Snow. We have a Minister of State designate coming for confirmation hearing. He's sitting as the Minister of State with our portfolio for special project already. He's coming for confirmation hearing. We should ask those questions about what's happening in Lofa when it comes to this villa, presidential villa, so we can have the proper, credible information and know how to deal with the issue because it is concerning. Yeah. That Senator Tyler, we're not debating. I just wanted to get guidance. Yeah, I wanted to get guidance to the things so it can appear like the Senate hearing these things and doing nothing. We just return to session. Let's deal with this issue as House of Elders and put it in perspective and for correction. Senator Tyler, go ahead.
Mr. President, thank you. And thank you to my colleagues for a well-deserved break. The people of Bomi County and Western Liberia want me to extend their thanks and appreciation to the Liberian Senate for the establishment of the Western Region University. We believe with the university will help to contain some of the educational issues regarding our region. We want to thank you very, very much. We are also happy about the news we are hearing that the government of Liberia intends to carry out the construction of the road from the Seaport Bridge to Bo-Warasa, to Clay, to Bo-Warasa, and to Tottenham, and subsequently to Bubulu City. I want to thank the government. We want to thank you. We know it will be coming here. We want to ask you to please expedite it so that we rehabilitate the roads. The third point I want to make is about our legislative projects in the county. I'm quite happy we've started. The projects are ongoing. I hope we'll continue to do so. So from Western Liberia, especially from Bobby, I want to say thank you. But I have two other things in my mind this afternoon which I want to state quickly. One has to do with the concession years that we have in the country. The Western cluster, for example, is already bombing. And from time to time, we continue to experience problems regarding their operations. Liberia, for the last 15 years, we got 10 more years to go. It's our information that the agreement has been negotiated, renegotiated to come to this body for ratification. I think this is the time that we must correct and put the necessary safeguard in place to ensure that the right thing is done. I remember in 2024, in January, when we took over, and I listened to almost all the senators that spoke. The concentration of being robust in our work, in our oversight, in our representation. I hope we can hold on to that. I cannot master Western cluster without mentioning AML. They've been here for some 20 years and want to renew. Now that we have their backs on the wall, this is the time to push to ensure that our colleagues in Bonn, Lima, and Bassa get a just share, and that the country Liberia get a just share of what is happening in Nima. Finally, we heard that the National Oil Company of Liberia has concluded and or awarded some oil blocks to some institution. And those blocks or those agreements are on the way to the legislature. But I'm troubled because I heard one of the companies named Oranto. If my memory can serve me right, I'm wondering what I want to see Oranto that came here, obtained 3 oil blocks without doing anything, flipped them for 150 million years, 150 million, and the country did not benefit except for the capital gain tax, which is just barely 10%. I hope that we need to look at those agreements and where necessary, suggest some amendments so that whosoever obtains such agreements and resources and intend to flip them, the country will have a just benefit. I think 10% is not sufficient. And I will urge the committee to thoroughly look into that. Having said, I want to thank you, colleagues. Thank you. Having said that, colleagues, I want to thank you for the cordial working relationship, and I hope that together we can serve the people of Liberia. Thank you.
Margie County, Senator Tony J. Inaga Lukwe.
Senator Nuko, you are Musa Bere, that is saying hi.
Thank you. Mr. Presiding Officer, distinguished honorable members of the Liberian Senate, I'd like to join previous speakers to welcome all of us back on the final leg of our sitting for this year. I'd like to bring few key issues to our attention, but again, I've been wondering in my mind to what end. I said this before. After every break, we come and make these beautiful presentations. These views are not synchronized to form part of our working agenda for that particular city. And I think we should go beyond just mere presentation here to ensure that the critical governance issues that are presented here, besides some of the death announcements that were made here, and they are synchronized, and then subsequently form part of the working agenda for the Senate for that particular sitting, so that after the sitting we can self-check and say, look, when we came from the break, these critical issues, governance issues were presented, and at the end of the sitting, this is how far we went in attempting to address them. I said it before, and I'd like to recommend that again, Mr. Presiding Officer. Having said that, I'd like to bring to your attention the issue of the Decent Work Act, which we've been working on. As many of you are aware, Mike Gibby is a plantation-based county, and many of our people look forward to us ensuring that some of these critical amendments are made to address their concerns. We work as a group. The final draft is available. Mr. Chairman will submit the report maybe next week. We'll create your indulgence so that we all can critically look at what ever is going to be presented so that we can make a decision and then move on with this process. It has been here for so long. It's about time that we act in the interest of our people. I also like to bring to your attention the issue of independent contractor versus quote-unquote employment. As of the passage of the Decent Work Act, wherein the minimum wage was raised to $5.50, many of the employers in the private sector begin to renege on their responsibilities of employing Liberians. They switch to giving their core functions to independent contractors. Our people, there's a great outcry out there, especially those of us from plantation counties, from counties that have concessions. To bear me witness that almost all of the core functions of these companies are being given to independent contractors. If you are an independent contractor and you employ people, you don't provide for housing, you don't provide for education, you don't provide for health care. And we believe that's why most of the companies are avoiding and they prefer to go the way of independent contractor rather than employment. If you look at the Decent Work Act, this issue of independent contractor was not addressed in the Decent Work Act. And I think we need to review this in line with the Decent Work Act and ensure that the appropriate decisions are taken to either amend the act or ensure that the right thing is done. I'd also like to bring to your attention so that this sitting, we can endeavor to critically look at the issue of volunteer workers. This is one of the issues, this is one of the perennial issues that we have had, government after government. But it's important at this time, since the budget will be submitted at the end of this month, let's begin to engage the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education, so that these volunteer workers' employment issue can be addressed. Finally, I'd like to bring one other issue to our attention. I intend to do a communication, and I'd like for us to pay critical attention to this. It's important if you want to establish a middle income business entrepreneurship in our country, we need to clearly establish as to whether we need to support domestic manufacturing as we are doing compared to importation. There are critical goods, if imported, can be sold for less than the amount that manufactured goods have been sold for. So by indicating that we want companies to do local manufacturing, and by the fact that they are doing local manufacturing, nobody should import those goods or commodities that have been manufactured, we are imposing an immense burden on the shoulders of our people. Because those goods, or some of those goods that are locally manufactured, are very expensive compared to if they were imported. And I don't want to begin to name them, but I'd like for us to critically review all of those businesses, all of those commodities, and establish as to whether local manufacturing will help our people or importation will help our people. I'd like for us to critically look at that. I will table a communication for our consideration. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Maggie, Senator Natana F. McGill. Then we'll go on to River says Senator Wellington Jibber Smith.
Mr. Presiding, distinguished senators, I want to be grateful to God for our return safely, and it is my hope that we conduct the affairs of the Liberian people. First on my agenda, on behalf of the people of the river says, we want to commend government that since the end of the Civil War, we went through a rainy season without sleeping on the road. First time. Even last week, I was in Sisters. Tomorrow, I'm going back. Secondly, distinguished colleagues, on behalf of the people of River says, we want to appreciate this government, the Liberia Electricity Corporation start testing power in Sister City. This is an emotional situation for some of us who born in Riverside, grew up there. We know what we have been going through. For electricity, not generator, to be switched on in Riverside. We know that we are out of the wilderness. Our country has been in the woods for a very long time. The national system used propaganda to keep us behind, but God has time for everything. Today, we're not talking much about Niji again, Riverside, St. Joseph Walker sent ferry there. No need to be in Riverside again. St. Joseph Walker sent ferry there on the Sasa River. No. No canoe capture on the Sasa River again since Joseph Walker sent a ferry there. Today we are moving smoothly. My distinguished colleagues, our legislative projects ongoing. a 3-room apartment as part of my legislative projects that we're building in the county for doctors that will be assigned in the county. The projects are being completed. Okay. Let me just summarize. And so we've even provided furniture for the data quarter will be dedicated soon. But presiding officer, distinguished colleagues, before I take my seat, I would want to appeal to central government. The issue of ritualistic killings in the interior of the country is getting too much. National security are so reluctant. People, it appears that the interior have turned out to be a portrait farm, or people just grab human beings and just kill them secretly. And the pain is left with the family to nurse the wounds. That can make the public to lose confidence in the security and justice system of the country. We appeal to central government to look at it. Just a month ago, my childhood friend, who and myself grew together, he just owned his farm, and the people in the interior live the farming life. The man just disappeared from the farm. Just wanted to find his body 3 days ago with the teeth, the tones, everything, the eyeball, everything extracted. And so we appeal to central government. Ritualistic killings is creating fear in the interior of the country. Thank you very much.
Senator Bill, TF
Careful of the time, please. It's 3 minutes per capita.
Mr. Presiding, distinguished colleagues, I want to join those who came before me to say welcome back to everybody. During the break, we visited Riverside County, and there are some issues that the people of Riverside want us to bring before you so we can resolve them. One has to do with volunteer teachers. Cecil High School has 4 teachers who are teaching key subjects. There were those teachers that have sleepless nights that help Riverside to come first in the Republic of Liberia. They have threatened our students that they will leave Riverside if their name cannot be placed on government payroll. The teachers told me to tell you, and they told me that Bill Tower you do small work. So now you're sitting home for 3 more, you're here on break. We have sleepless nights. Even the poor on payroll for all of them, 150 or 300 are beating for you. They want us to tell my fellow lawmakers that even a little payroll of $300, we should make sure that we place them on the payroll. And I think it's not peculiar to Riverside alone. It's all across the country. So, Chairman on Finance, let us make sure that the coming budget will place volunteer teachers on the payroll. Other than that, the next result you're getting in Riverside will be very bad. Because those brains that make things so happen in Riverside have threatened to leave Riverside if we cannot put them on the payroll. If we are carrying more than 5,000 home and we cannot get a $300 job, someone that got BSc,
And we cannot get a $300 job, we can put a name on the payroll, they will leave Rowan say, we're not hiring any teacher there. So I'm appealing to my colleagues, education committee chair, let's make sure that our teachers are placed on payroll in this coming budget. The people of Rowan say we need to do that for them. Another thing, I want to tell the government, thank you for making legislation to go to Rowan. Our people are happy. Years, when they saw poles being planted under the then government, roads being cleared under the then government, they thought it was a joke. Bring back the time. So this government did very, very good job by continuing what the other government started. So thank you that today we are sleeping on the United States in Riverside County. When we get teacher, we making big money. In Riverside, like my senior senator told you, Rachel Lacey Kelly is still ongoing. And we have not left the needy. The other day, the man just walked to the water, he left his house. What is it? As I was telling you the other day, the guy just walked the water. And people were calling him, he was just going. He just walked the water and he remained inside. That was about 1 month ago. So Niki stayed there. It is part of our tradition. And it is still there. And people are... To catch you, we don't need ferry to catch you. We can call you water you remain inside. You cannot do a ferry. Another area of concern, our hospitals in Riverside. I visited several clinics in Riverside. Even to get tablet they have. Aspirin not there. They are telling us that to tell the finance committee to put money in the budget so we can buy drugs. They can't say the operating clinic and nothing in the clinic. Chairperson on health, please make sure. The people of Russia want me to inform you that in coming budget, we should have consideration on those health workers and the teachers. I thank you, I submit.
Let's do it this time.
Don't time limit.
Professor again. Put it down before. Let's do it this time.
No time limit.
No time limit. Former protest.
Dispensation.
So I will start with what Senator Snow raised. He asked, what are we doing on the FOIA project issue? So I texted the Minister of Public Works on Monday. I told him that I'm making a presentation today, and clearly the senators will ask me. So where he has information on what's going on in FOIA, because it has become a public concern. Texted me back that you're going to ask the project advisor and get back to me. So I'm still waiting. So I will start with, since I'm on that topic, I will start with basic infrastructure. Seaports. The Senate, made a decision to unbundle the MPA so that Sino, Bassa, Maryland can be independent. We did a bill, as you know, sent to the House, was passed, but the President vetoed certain part of it. So it is time that we look at the President's veto and take the appropriate action. We need to do it as soon as possible. Airports. Here also, we had a public hearing and we decided to call all the actors, discuss the domestic airports, and said that there was a need to revitalize them, revamp them. The sectors came and made a presentation and gave up and said they had a plan. Since that time, we have not heard from them. It is time that we call them back so we can finalize that. The rail system. You know, Guinea right now is almost completing its rail from one part of the country to the next, costing more than $20 billion. The Guineans want to connect all their deposits, all their mineral resources, their forests, everything, forest products, to the rail. There's a proposed rail authority. It is time also that we formalize the establishment of that authority or designate another agency to start planning, at least to plan for a rail system. It is very important that we can also do the same thing, connect all our deposits, make sure that forestry is also connected so that we can develop our own rail system. It's also time to look at that. On the issue of roads, right now government is looking at certain road concessions. The one that's in the advanced state is the 255 kilometers of road in the west and northwestern part of this country, from St. Paul Bridge to Clay Junction, from Clay Junction to Port Waterside, from Medina to Ravenscourt, and from Clay Junction to Thomasburg. There's also discussion, maybe the Volumato Medical Man, I left that out. Maybe the segment from Brewerville to Opolu may be considered, depending on other circumstances. So that's being looked at. There's also proposed concession for Mapo Town in Grand Chile to the port of port of Greenville, that will give access to activities from the Putu Mountains, the iron ore that's there, activities in the Sample National Park and other economic activities there. There is information also that the Eton concession and the Boma have contacted government. Yeah, contacted government to revitalize the concessions. So all the discussions are going on. And yellow machines. Yellow machines. The information we have is that 8 companies were notified to take part in a restricted bidding for those yellow machines. 3 companies submitted bills, the bids for that, and 1 company was selected called the Evergreen Import Export Liberian Corporation at a contract price of $21,646,035. That is almost 21.6 million on September 5, 2025. That is good. I think we started with 80 million. So we must thank the presidential committee headed by the VP for doing a very good job. From our understanding, from our understanding that a letter of award has been given to the company and a contract has been negotiated. After that, once government gave an advance payment, then the ball will start rolling.
How many pieces of the machine?
We know 289. Everybody knows 289. But the final contract will say all those. But how many? I see 289. Okay, maybe. Zuni. Yeah, we had a public hearing. Anytime there's rain, people cry. So there's flooding all over the place. And one of the issues we identified in this plenary is that one of the factors is violation of the zoning law. People building in alleys, people building right away. We asked Public Works to go do his job. The Public Works has started doing his job. I was seeing people who were crying are crying again. They say the Public Works breaking down their places. I contacted the Ministry of Public Works, and they say yes, they are trying to implement the zoning law, but they gave due process. First, they notify you, and they give you enough time. During that time, they give you opportunity for hearing. You can come back to the Ministry of Public Works and talk to them, and they explain to you. If they break your place and you are not in the right of way, you have the legal right to it, they pay you. They will compensate you. If they intrude on your land, they will compensate you. But if you build illegally, unfortunately, you will not get compensation. So as politicians, I know that people come to us to cry, but we have to face the country. We have to face the country. Tomorrow, our people will know the benefits of expanding the road. The roads are being expanded, and the better way has to be clear. So, Macaulay Scheme, Senator Taylor, Senator Sir Joseph raised the issues. But I'm sure once we explain to the people, I'm sure they will understand. All of the road projects, okay, I asked the Ministry of Public Works to do a status report of all their works, all the road works across the country. So they did a comprehensive report for me. I ran out photocopy, I was circulated to all senators.
When you look in here, you will see the information I provided to you on the yellow machine, on the zoning, all the roads in your counties, everything is in here, the status. No, unfortunately. But I'll get a briefing. Yeah, so everything is in here. Once you read it, you will understand. What is important also is that road concessions or road work tied to the road fund. Right now, the road fund for 2025, FY 2025, the forecast is 42 million on the road fund. And that is small. All the concessions are named. All the guarantees, all the advances will come from the road fund. All the works, everything in here, the road fund. The road fund envelope is very small. We have to expand it, try probably to reach it to at least 100 million. Then we can do all this work.
16 million.
Okay, yeah, that's a good step. But still, we have to still move further than that. Besides that, yeah. Besides that, distinguished colleagues, besides that, before the road fund, we used to put money in the budget for roads. We used to put money in the budget for roads. But since the road fund came, we stopped doing that. Senator Moyi and myself and everybody else on the Ways and Means, we need to put some more money inside the road fund in the budget to do all the roads. All of us know with roads, economic activities will improve, and I think our people will be much happier. Thank you, colleagues. Thank you.
Senator, immunity is particular.
Police, we want to join. We want to join colleagues that welcome all of us back from our deserved break. Let us know. Colleagues, do you want to listen to Great Crew as well? So we want to thank you for this opportunity. We visited Great Crew. If I may start with the county we visited Great Crew, there are quite a few concerns that we observed. One is the act of observing students that are at the level of nursery to K2. I think slightly it was a mistake when we were offering free education from first grade all the way to 12th grade. The nursery was not included. So those kids are required to pay money. It's costing parents who are unable to pay their kids' fee now to go to school. So I think we need to visit that. We need to revisit that to accord those kids free education as well. I observe a lot of kids in Great Crew that are out of school, and it's of serious concern. Another situation I observe is So, illicit money is one of the situations that affected people.
What's happening on this school? So you're being
So, I beg you, please go sit down. So, as I was saying, illicit money is one of the situations that affected grade school. Our children that are supposed to be in school are mostly on mining fees or engaged in illicit mining. I can remember one of our communities called Dubo. Just recently, the town was being destroyed until we had to elect the Minister of Mines. They had to intervene to put a halt to such destructive attitude of our people. I want to ask the Minister of Mines to do something about the illicit mining that is in Kangar-Lawrence. It's affecting our communities. The people destroyed our land. No reclamation. It's very serious. And it's also making a lot of our kids to be out of school. Another situation that is affecting Kangar-Lawrence is when the government had its 100-day deliverable. One of our districts road, a road that is affecting one of our districts was not included. So because of that, that entire district that is adjacent to Sino is completely closed. Only motorcycles people are using on that side. It's a very serious concern. So we are asking the government to please do something about that road so that our people will be free from such hardship that they are experiencing. On the issue of our committee, we want to thank the acting leader now, because the vice president is below him. We want to thank the Senate leadership for honoring the Committee on Construction and Investment, because we were rated as the most performing committee during our last session. So we were honored. We want to thank you. We want to assure you that we will do our utmost to live up to the expectation of the Senate when it comes to the issue of following up on our conceptions, the investors that are in this country to do what they're supposed to do. We were asked to plan a retreat. The Committee on Construction Investment were asked to plan a Senate retreat. We've done our best. The committee has done its best. The draft of the retreat is prepared, only awaiting to be submitted to the Senate leadership for endorsement, and then the date can be decided. The Senate Committee on Construction and Investment also received an offer of training from a donor. So the time will be arranged. They will be offered to train the committee members on how to deal with concessions whenever they are presented to the Senate. The time will be arranged so that all of us will go through that training. Yes, even if we know, but there's nothing bad about updating our expertise on handling concessions. So
We will alert you wherever the time comes. Again, as I said, those issues that are critical that I've just said need to be attended to. Thank you very much, police, for the time.
Liberty County, Senator John Ethan Porter Sopri.
Mr. Presiding, fellow colleagues, let's firstly thank God for our safe wrap-up and that we continue to do the people's business. So I bring you greetings from River G County. During our break, I had the time to visit our people. I had the time to visit with our people, and there were a few concerns that they asked me to bring to you, amongst other things. So firstly, I communicated to this August body on May 29, 2005, regarding the abandonment of our only city hall in Fishtown. That issue was seized by plenary and said leadership was going to handle it with list. Today, we've not heard anything. I'll be bringing it back to you again at this sitting. I also raised with plenary the issue of the SKD Sports Complex, where there is a hotel facility that was initially constructed because of our national teams. Today, our national team has nowhere to camp, borrowing and loaning money from everywhere else to go to this hotel and that hotel, when that place has been given to a private company. That is a national asset and it should be used for our national purposes. I will be coming to you again for this very purpose, and so we can deal with this one too. Not only that. Thank you, sir. Not only that, you will recall that in 1988, when this national team, the Lone Star, beat Ghana Black Star, the then president of the Republic of Liberia, Dr. Samuel Kangar-Lawrence, allotted a portion of land to each of the players on that team. I was a member. To date, not a single member of that team has gotten possession of that land. That's a government asset and a public land, and government has the fiduciary responsibility to administer the affairs of the land. It's my understanding, Senator Snow, this is serious. It's my understanding that the land is being distributed by some government agencies. And I'm coming back to this plenary, the August body, to do something about it. Let's invite the Minister of Youth and Sports and let them come and give us what's happening to that land so that the people who sacrificed at that time can reap their due benefits. Colleagues, I want to bring also to your attention this issue of the Liberian Transport Management and the Ministry of Transport. This thing has not been a result. It's around the corridor. People keep consulting us with respect to what's the way forward. We have not made a decision. We have not invited this matter. I think at some point during these sittings, we should try to bring it to an end. And let's find a resolution. It's a short one. The issue of communication and security in the Southeast is becoming cumbersome and troublesome. Firstly, the influx. Hello? The influx of Burkinabe in our land is becoming very, very, very troublesome. To the extent where people are shielding them because they are protecting them and making farm for them at certain places. If we are not mindful people, Sooner or later, we will start to find a name for a Burkinabe man and a refugee woman to get someone named Burkina something. We need to handle this issue of serious security concern and something got to take place. We have to do something, people. This is serious. Senator Che, I'm discussing security in the Southeast. Yeah. And colleagues, I'm the co-chair on rules and administration. On rules and order, we are in conversation. Hello, we are in conversation with the CSA to try to handle issues with central administration. But I think it behooves us as well to also begin to hold consultation amongst ourselves to handle our personal status. And any which way we can intervene, let's do something. I'm not seeking political relevance here, I'm appealing to all of us. Please. I did consult the chairman. Correct. The issues Senator Traore raised concern. Yeah, just 1.5. Senator Tiaje just raised an issue. Hello, concerning. I said Traore, Bill Traore. So we are Jion. So that meant me. But we're not talking to you. Okay, thank you. So he just raised an issue about the volunteer teachers and the volunteer health workers. That is permeating all of our counties around the Southeast and other places. Let's do something this time, Senator Moyi. Let's see what we can place in there to help our people. However small, however infinitesimal, let us do a little that will go a little way. The next budget period, you can ask something, but let's do the first step. The 1,000 mark begins with the first step. Colleagues, there is one thing, if nothing is important, I'd like to talk about. It is the inhumane treatment our citizens are getting from some of the embassies accredited near Monrovia. You will have our people standing across the road from the very embassy, and they will be there all day under the sun and under the rain. American embassy and Chinese embassy. I'm not a friend. I'm just speaking politically. We need to do something to speak to these people. There is a political accord or parlant that we can use to say, let our people be treated fairly. That's what we are asking. We're not asking them to get a piece out of the garden, but we can have them in the streets. That issue will be coming to the foreign committee because some kind of conversation needs to be happening around this kind of thing, and let's give some dignity to our people too. Finally, the Liberian Maritime Authority just hosted. Koga, you still talking? Yeah. All right. The Liberian Maritime Authority hosted recently the 8th edition of the All Africa Administrations Conference here in Liberia at the EJS Conference Center. That program went well. Amongst other things, was discussed the issue of the. I was there, yes. In my capacity, I was there. And that conversation will lead to some kind of a resolution, and they might be bringing it to us for legislative actions. I'm informing you in advance because I was very proud of the gathering of African countries. And Mr. Waste, Means and Finance will also be discussing the Nico Ibanka issue. It is my appeal that we either bring this thing to a close or we solve the problem. Let's say no if it's no. Let us not keep stalling and they keep coming back and coming back and coming back. Bring it to a close. I think it will do us some good. Again, I want to thank you, Mr. President, and distinguished colleagues, for your time. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Senator Boto Kane, Pablo, one.
I can send a photo, can you walk through with Senator?
Yes, sir.
That's not for me.
The Congress Senator.
You probably said, they probably go out with stuff. When car coming, if you take them go out, they wait for senator. I will say you.
Presiding, distinguished colleagues, let me first glorify God for what He has done and what He will continue to do. I want to say thank you. And I bring you greetings from the great county of Bapu, where the elephants are residing. People of Bapu are saying to this August body that we need magisterial courts. If we can recall, a month ago, they have videos circulating in the area where the lady was beaten and punished under the sun, and she was taken to Boko. And Obobo killed his wife and extracted parts from the body. Yeah. Now he is at the prison compound where there is no magisterial court. Jungle justice prevailed in that area. And for Bapolu County, we have 3 courts and we got 6 districts. In the Gengolala, we don't have no magisterial court. In the Bele district, we don't have none. In the Bokomo district, there is none. In the Kongba district, we don't have none. So we are appealing to this August body. As the budget is coming before us, let us see how best it can be placed in the budget to construct magisterial courts in our county. The issue about Bauchico, their road permit has been revoked, but I believe it will be restored. But Bauchico, they are not doing anything in that county. No. Even the UNDP, the justice, the labor, they took a tour there this gone month. There is no good result. I saw some of the reports that they came out with. I am begging this August body for us at least to review the Bauchico MTA. We got some counties, they will complain, but at the end of the day, something can be done there. But for Bauchico, even their headquarters, they are all living in containers. Nothing is done in that part of the county. So this is my appeal to the people of this body to see how best the permit remain as it is until we can get redress from our county. And again, the president told us we should fight against corruption, which of course, in our county, it has been long an old age problem that I believe, as female and mother of the land, thinking that I will curtail corruption. Instead, it is getting worse by day. We tried to bring some people on board, and they were taken to LSTC for investigation. Some of them were indicted, but till now, they are still running the government in our county. You cannot be an indictee at the same time playing with the government resources. Then why was you indicted? That's the question. So I am bringing this to this body too, to look into that. Even when you go on the social media, the only thing you will see there is the senator of Bapolu County is very much corrupt. I am receiving so many insults on the media because actions have not been taken by the government. So they are trying to say that I am lying to the people of this country. It's a disgrace to a senator to be continuously insulted by the people without redress. And again, I'm a female. So I am appealing to you people. You cannot fight corruption and the person is indicted or they are indicted. Then they cannot be suspended or dismissed. And stay playing with the resources. In fact, the resolution that was signed in 2 weeks' time was signed by the indictee. Yeah.
Sorry, the civil servant of your county indicted by the government?
Yes.
And say that?
Yes.
What are you writing that case to the president?
Thank you.
You can be indicted and just still being observed.
Thank you. So, let me say to the body that I think my day have been met. Thank you, Mr. Presiding, and have a blessed day. Senator Papa, Grandma.
The president is out there being offered.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding, distinguished colleagues. I'm glad to be back here again along with you all to continue doing the work our people have sent us here to do. When you are the last, I think all the general issues have already been spoken about, but let me bring you heartfelt greetings from the people of Western Liberia, specifically Grand Cape County, the beautiful piece of land that God blessed the Republic with. During our break, we visited Cape Mount, interacted with our constituents, had a series of town hall meetings, and I can safely say that Cape Mount is peaceful. Howbeit, our people, especially the young people, are challenged. They continue to struggle to find employment in the biggest company that operates right within Grand Cape County. On this note, we want to say thanks to the Labor Committee and all colleagues who participated in the debate about the work permit issue. I just want to urge all of us to ensure that follow-ups on those critical issues are immediate and urgent in order for recommendations to be effected so that our people can have access to jobs that they have skill to do and the need for their livelihoods. I also like to say, which is no secret to this body and the nation, that the fight against drugs, Cape Mount is at the forefront. As you follow the news and even on the social media, it is no secret that our borders are being used to bring in drugs and other controlled substances very regularly. Therefore, the need for additional deployment of security cannot be overemphasized at this moment. One key area for which I have already written the Liberian National Police IG is Sinje. Sinje is an emerging city. It hosts the only University of Liberia outstation branch. It hosts the county health services. It hosts a big multi-purpose clinic, and it's a growing city. It used to have the police presence, but because of some security issue, that checkpoint was removed. And given the amount of drugs that are seized on a weekly basis in the county, we think that should be restored. And that letter, we send a copy to the Honorable Chairman of the Security Committee. We ask your indulgence to please follow up to make sure that security presence is on the highway. On the Health Committee, we have been engaged at different levels, but there's one important issue that we inherited on this floor. And that issue is the public health bill. Colleagues, Senator, I will encourage you to take your time and review the new public health bill and see the benefits, the new introduction of authorities and other guidance that it provides to the health sector, which is very important. The current bill that is being used is since 1976, and you will agree with me that most of the things that are happening today were not considered during the crafting of that bill. I know when we talk about the bill, the message has been that it is abortion. But I'd like for you to take your time and look at that provision that discusses abortion and compare it to the 1976 bill. If you look at the bill, the current bill is even better on abortion than the 1976 bill. So, colleagues, the committee will be coming to you again after consulting with the immediate past chairperson, after consulting with the immediate past chairman of the health committee. I think it's necessary that we reintroduce that bill on the floor for possible passage. During our break, we moderated a one-day dialogue on scaling up nutrition. Liberia currently faces a 30% stunting among children because of lack of adequate nutrition. So at the recent International Nutrition Dialogue, the Vice President and President of the Senate made a commitment to contribute to nutritional activities in the country up to 5% of our national budget over a 5-year period, which means 1% per annum. So working with his office, there is currently an engrossed bill from the lower house, which we will be presenting here at the appropriate time for your consideration. We will also be establishing 2 key caucuses under the Health Committee. And want to encourage colleagues who are interested and will reach out to you individually to be a part of the vaccine caucus and the scaling up nutrition caucus. This is very important. The role of that caucuses will be mostly advocacy. As you are aware, Liberia and many other countries around the globe have recently experienced the withdrawal or cut down in donor funding. For vaccination, the Gavi program that we've been under, by next year, it will be closing. So we need to now find innovative way to have domestic funding to support vaccine, which is important for our children, unborn children, and mothers, pregnant mothers. So we'll be coming to you to establish a caucus. I will encourage Senator Moy to be on both of those caucuses, the vaccine and the scaling of nutrition, so that we can advocate for more funding. It is important. 30% of the population of children are stunted. And that is not only, it doesn't only have to do with physical outlook, but it also affects the mental capacity of children growing without sufficient nutrition. We also want to inform this body that we launched the malaria vaccine in the remaining 9 counties of Liberia. Last year, we launched for the southeastern counties, those of you from southeastern, you have malaria vaccine in all of your hospitals and major clinics across your counties. The remaining 9 counties was launched now, so the entire country is covered with malaria vaccine, and you know the effect of malaria on the population. So the vaccines are available for children from 5 months to 2 years. Please, as you visit your constituency, encourage mothers and sometimes fathers to take children who fall within that category. The health situation remains very dire, and we need to pay more attention to it as we look at our budget. JFK is making some impasse currently. There are renovations going on, but they are still challenged, as we reported the last time. I also encourage all of us to make use of the private clinic that have been established. It runs from 4 o'clock to 8 p.m. You can see any specialist you want to, and please inform your constituency. At JFK. So after 4 o'clock you go, you can see any specialist you want to see from 4 to 8 p.m. Let me also thank the government under President Boakai and Vice President Kong for restoring our country's image on the international stage. But my dear colleagues, distinguished members of this Senate, this image is being eroded by the reign of insults that was introduced since 2005 election, especially insulting women started as far back in my recollection, 2005. This has become a political tool targeting women. And it's not about me, because the moment I accepted to contest, I wore a skin that I can be insulted anytime. But I don't care how much we do as a country. It's not presenting Liberia well. We have very good values in the days. We can have all the development, infrastructure development, but we need to keep our values. We are only 105 elected officials in this country. And most of these insults are coming from political interaction. So it is our responsibility, each of us, to take it as a responsibility and go back to our constituencies and tell them the ill that this does to this nation's image. Please, my dear colleagues. Lastly, which was spoken already by previous speakers, especially my dear chairperson of Security Committee and a few other persons, the issue of rape. We are concerned as women leaders about the new introduction of accessing DNA results. It confuses or it concerns our constituents, especially women. And we need the gender committee to take on this so we can get to understand, because there is a precedent that will impact us and our children that are threatened by rape every day across this country. Mr. Presiding and police, thank you very much for the time, and we look forward to a healthy interaction during this sitting. Thank you.
Distinguished colleagues, distinguished colleagues, don't make all your speech. Don't make all your speech. We'll take care of it. Distinguished colleagues, we have come to the conclusion of the agenda. Senator Coker, the procedure here is that when you write and you are not here, we'll wait for the next session. So your communication was deferred to the next session. Distinguished colleagues, permit me to remind all of us that we passed one of the best drug laws in the world. The executive must enforce that law. Or else the law is sitting down and saying, just use me, you see something. Part of the provision in our law that we passed to fight drug, the vehicle used to transport drug, once investigation can show proof that that vehicle was knowingly used that vehicle to transport import drug, that vehicle must be seized, sold, and the proceeds used to fight drug. We have seen several videos. 1 minute, please. I want to make a case for all of us in the country. We see several vehicles where they're taking drugs from in the car door, screwed in the car door. It's not possible for somebody to get in the car on their own, unscrew the car door, put drugs inside and screw it back without the knowledge and consent of either the driver and or the owner. If we impress upon the executive and ensure that one of such vehicles is sold, it will serve as deterrent to other people not to allow their vehicle, the shape of the plane, to be used to transport drugs in our country. The drug law that we have in our country, the only thing is short of that death sentence. We've done our part, but oversight to ensure that it's enforced will make the law white and serve our country in the fight against drugs. Permit me to announce that the protest will be returning this weekend. I want to thank you for the session today. As we all know, the country, as much as we get beaten, the country admires the Senate for the orderliness, for the maturity, mutual respect. Let's continue in that life. I'm closing the session. Committee on Foreign Affairs. We should have a brief meeting after session. We have some nominees. Yeah, sure. Yeah. So,
Where?
Yeah. I think thank you very much. Who have agreed to work with us are all concerned about the delay.
Okay, submitted, and by weekend the pro tem and the chairman or executive, all the entire leadership will be in town for, and then we can pick it up in consultative meeting on Tuesday before session. We have come to the close of the agenda for today. Motion to adjourn.